A Dune fan's dream. Living on Arrakis is no easy feat, but as a longtime Dune fan, I'm thrilled with what I've seen so far. Dune Awakening combines solid survival mechanics with deep lore integration, creating an experience that stands out from the usual genre offerings. The game respects Herbert's universe while introducing fresh ideas that make it more than just another Dune adaptation. If Funcom can deliver on its ambitious plans, this game could become a long-term staple for MMO and Dune enthusiasts alike. Now, all I need is for them to add an in-game pet, or perhaps a miniature Shai-Hulud on a hamster wheel. Until then, I'll be keeping an eye on the spice flow. Building and expanding. Once you've adapted to Arrakis's brutal conditions, you can focus on base building. Early construction options are limited, but as you progress, you'll gain access to more customization. Bases can be relocated, eliminating the frustration of maintaining multiple settlements. Machines automate essential survival tasks, such as extracting water from enemy corpses and purifying resources. Dune Awakening also encourages emergent gameplay through its player-driven economy and PvP mechanics. While I only experienced the PvE aspect, the developers emphasized that the late game revolves around politics, trading, and factional warfare. Alliances will be crucial for tackling high-level dungeons, known as ecological laboratories, and for securing valuable resources. The spice must flow. Spice is everything in Dune Awakening. Early on, you can find spice liquor in food, which temporarily enhance your abilities but come with withdrawal symptoms. Later in the game, you'll be able to construct transports, harvesters, and automated spice collection systems to gather large quantities for trade, crafting, or, if you're not careful, fueling a debilitating addiction. The game balances the value of spice with the challenge of acquiring it. Producer Roy Bjorga explained, "Spice is crucial in the lore, and we've integrated it as a core mechanic. It can enhance abilities, but addiction means needing more and more." The endgame systems revolve around acquiring enough spice to pay taxes, maintain political sway, and construct advanced structures. High spice consumption also has in-game consequences. If you stay perpetually dosed, you'll start hallucinating, affecting your perception of the world. This risk versus reward system adds another layer of depth to the game's mechanics. Surviving Arrakis. Survival games are all over Steam, and I've played my fair share of them. Whether it's bashing rocks together in a jungle or crafting swords in a medieval landscape, I enjoy the loop. But Dune Awakening immediately stands out for one major reason. Arrakis is not a forgiving environment. The game begins in the Hager Basin, a harsh desert with no water, scarce wildlife, and an oppressive sun that can cause sunstroke. Scavengers lurk everywhere, eager to kill you. And of course, there are sandworms. My early hours were spent desperately searching for dewdrops, granite, and plant fibers while taking advice from an NPC with a pet bat who taught me the basics of survival. You're not entirely helpless, though. As you gain experience, you unlock various abilities. I chose the Bene Gesserit skill tree, which gave me the power to compel enemies to move toward me before resuming their attacks. Other starting classes include the Trooper, focused on strategy and recon, and the Swordmaster. Combat offers a mix of melee and ranged fighting, with passive and active abilities that can be swapped based on your needs. Progression felt smooth, with skill point acquisition happening at a satisfying pace. a different Dune. Dune Awakening takes place in an alternate timeline where Lady Jessica chose to obey the Bene Gesserit and bore a daughter, Aristei, instead of Paul Atreides. Fast forward 29 years, and the Harkonnens and Atreides are at war over Arrakis. The Fremen have seemingly been wiped out, and new religions have emerged in the absence of the old faiths. This divergence from Dune canon isn't a mere gimmick. Funcom needed narrative freedom to allow player characters to play a meaningful role in the world. As one developer explained, "We made the controversial but correct choice to create an alternate history, detaching from the movies so we could focus on developing the game. This also allows us to keep big-name characters around longer than in the books." While some Dune purists might hesitate at these changes, it's worth noting that Funcom worked closely with the Herbert estate and the creators of the current Dune movies to ensure authenticity. The influence of Dune lore can be felt in everything from the skill system to crafting progression, reinforcing Dune Awakening's identity in an oversaturated survival game market. There's only one thing worse than being chased across the desert by a sandworm in Dune Awakening, and that's getting eaten by one. Not only does the giant phallic creature drag you into the bowels of Arrakis, but it also consumes everything you're carrying: your clothes, your weapons, and most importantly, your spice liquor. Suddenly, you respawn at your base in nothing but your underwear, forced to do the infamous run of shame across the sands to start rebuilding your inventory. It's easy to be skeptical about an MMO survival game set in the Dune universe, but after enduring dehydration and sunstroke for a day in Arrakis, I'm convinced that Dune Awakening is one to watch. If the developer can successfully implement its plans for the endgame, the game could evolve into something akin to EVE Online, attracting a hardcore player base dedicated to its intricate systems. This ambitious project comes from Funcom, the studio behind Conan Exiles, and it sets players on a journey from being a broke Arrakis wanderer to an influential figure harvesting spice on an industrial scale. The game features everything expected in an MMO: complex skill trees, PvP mechanics, base building, and character customization, but with Dune-specific elements like orators and mind-altering substances thrown in.